And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Seriously Loco's live stream, live watch along of El Paso Locomotive versus Monterey Bay FC. I am Phil Bakke, and I'm joined tonight by Mika Burrell. Mika, we're here to watch some Locomotive football tonight.
We are indeed. I feel like it's been a little bit since I've personally been on one of the away streams, so happy to be back. But I mean, I don't know that this one needs too much analysis. We just got to stop the rot, Phil, right?
Stop the rot. We got to do surgery. We need some milk. I don't know, whatever
All of
the
it.
whatever
All of
the
the above. We've met the deductible. Now it's time to
yeah.
now it's
I
time to do something.
I think I think it could be as simple as last time out against Orange County. I mean, many people will likely, point to that as sort of a low point given the 3-0 loss. And I think crucially about that game, or crucial to note, is that, and say what you will about XG, but we conceded half an XG and 3 goals and created a goal and a half worth of XG and scored 0.
Okay.
So there is a genuine, I think, confidence issue amongst our front line, and particularly in the first half against Orange County. Locomotive 9 shots, 0 on target. And yeah, overall like a decent amount of chance creation, but not any confidence in the finishing, and that final sort of decision just not there for Locomotive at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, they're lacking sharpness. I think obviously May was a very prolific month for the team. I mean, I think right now, just on the screen, they flash most goals scored through 13 match days. So, um, I hope we didn't score all our goals for the season in May alone. But yeah, no, it's been tough, and yeah, I do think you see maybe a little bit of confidence lagging. I mean, I don't think that it's a coincidence that perhaps the number one goalkeeper, one of the best goalkeepers in the league, and Jamali Waite has been missing on Jamaica duty, and he's crucial back there for organizing things and just being one of those senior figures on the pitch and likely in the locker room as well. And Sebastian Moromor has been fine, but when we don't have that, then maybe perhaps that kind of lack of continuity has spread throughout the team and contributed to a lack of confidence. But that's just one of many possible reasons. We can't completely discredit the performances that our rivals have had, at our expense. I think Orange County were very efficient with the way that they played. Oakland Roots, we really just didn't take what chances we did have.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so tonight we really just need to get I mean, I think 3 points. I mean, this fixture has not really been the kindest to us on the road. I think we've only ever gotten 3 points one time
Yeah.
at Cardinale Stadium. Monterey tend to do the business and keep things pretty professional when they host us, but yeah, I don't know. They're kind of okay this season. They're kind of middling. They're in a bit of a rough patch as well. I think only one win in their last 5. So,
Yeah.
the time to take advantage is now, I think, and especially with our rivals all around us, you know, it's such a tight pack at the top. I mean, there is only 5 points between first place United and fifth place Phoenix. So, it's really important that we keep in that race, especially as we will have played 14 matches by the time the night is over. So,
Yep. In terms of Monterey Bay, or well, I guess quickly, how Locomotive line up. Not a lot of surprises. You mentioned Moramora in goal for Jamali Waite, which I would say, expect, given his absence. But then it is, and and it's all jacked up on it's all jacked up on FOTMob. I had it all straight in my head, and then I looked at this, it's like, what on earth? So
Yeah.
um
Let's
yeah,
see how CBS has it.
yeah.
They're about to flash it up on the screen.
So yeah, Gabby Torres is going to be at left back, and then it's going to be Wahab Akwe and Palermo Ortiz at center back, and Alvaro Quezada at right back, presumably. Then Coronado to allow that Torres switch. Essentially, like Ricky Ruiz is coming out. He did have, I mean, not to make it worse or add salt to the wound or anything like that, but Ricky had a rough day out against OC.
They
And
targeted that side, yeah, for sure.
yeah, and so he does sit this one out. Torres moves back to the left back spot. Coronado moves into midfield alongside Calvillo and Daroma, and then the front three is as we've come to expect with Moreno, Andy Cabrera, and Beto Avila. So not a ton of surprises, but almost maybe a sense of the Gabby Torres, Ricky Ruiz experiment of like shifting Torres into midfield and then Ruiz playing on the left. It always kind of felt like Torres was doing sort of the same stuff he did at left back, but now also there was another left back on the field. So it felt a little bit of like a hat on a hat, I guess, with Torres. So hopefully maybe it feels a little bit more functional down that side now.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, Gabby Torres, I think he kind of suffers from the kind of Trent Alexander-Arnold. Like he's so technically good that the I guess the thought is like, why not stick him in midfield? It's like, well, why not play him at left back where he's amazing? So, so he's back there tonight, and it looks like we have kicked off.
Yep. Oh, you're maybe a bit ahead of me actually. Now that
I'm at 35 seconds.
How's this possible? Like, I don't know how that would even make sense. I was more than 40 seconds behind you, which just doesn't make any sense. Like,
let me know if you want me to pause.
I feel like we've had issues with CBS in the past with this, so I'm trying just a straight refresh and see how close I can get, because that didn't make any sense. All right, I'm at 104, 105.
We're basically on the same track, so cool.
Okay, cool. So I think we're good.
Yeah, Beto Avila did square a nice ball to Armando Moreno just now in the box, but he seemed to kind of well, first the pass was behind him, but he seemed to kind of slip, so something to keep an eye on, and maybe the pitch conditions, and it is like 40 degrees colder in Monterey than it is in El Paso, so it's kind of an interesting one.
Yeah. And with it being 40 degrees colder in Monterey than it is in El Paso, it is probably colder in Monterey than it is in Ohio right now, because it was like 93 earlier today as Amano Moreno gets onto the ball and plays Avila in. Couldn't sort his feet out, though, and Monterey Bay able to clear it. Bit of a quick pace to this one as Monterey Bay trying to go long. That was actually
that's an insane
nice
pass.
ball to
not gonna lie.
split the lines, and luckily the shot is tame in the end from I want to say it was Traeger. It looks like a real Air Force haircut, but who is that?
It's a really good pass, but also a really good touch, because that was fizzed at him. I think the worst part of that was the finish, really.
Yeah, that was Elijah Paul who ran onto it initially, and then I don't actually know who ends up taking the shot there. Horup, maybe? Or Soyberg, I guess, would be. Anyways. Foul given against Monterey, I think, here. Free kick for Locomotive. But for Monterey Bay, just briefly, for their lineup, Campuzano's in goal, Joel Garcia, Alex Lara, Wesley Fonguk, and Nico Gordon make up their back line. Luka Ivanovic, Grant Robinson, Anton Soyberg, and Javi Neladi are going to be in midfield, and then their forwards, Maele Malongo and Elijah Paul. It says 4-4-2, but I mean, we'll see how it looks in practice. I would say one thing we know for sure off of the back of that, just that initial move, as it was a drop ball. Maybe did the ball hit the ref? I don't really know. It was a drop ball to
Yeah,
Monterey.
not
That was all
sure.
very strange. um, but regardless, it looks like Monterey Bay are going to look to play quick. And already Gabby Torres getting involved from that left back spot, but then caught on the ball. Just wanted a little too much time. Wins it back, though, and well done. And then foul earned by Palermo Ortiz. And I think he's making the point that Malongo has now been involved a couple of times already in the opening
Right.
minutes here. So clear that he's going to be a physical presence. But that was initially I'm already liking the look of where Gabby Torres is popping up, and how active he is versus maybe how he sometimes gets involved in midfield.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be interesting to see kind of what this means for the overall structure of the team. Because, like I said, I think the temptation to play him further forward is understandable, but maybe not wise for the entire structure. So, yeah, it'll be nice to see him where he's naturally, as Wilmer Cabrera is shown wearing the Hummel sweatshirt. Just the thought of wearing a sweatshirt right now is mind blowing to me. Like, that Pacific water making it real cold.
Truly. Northern California is kind of crazy that way.
Yeah. Someone's down here at the near side. Who's that? Is that Armando? Yeah. So that's another free kick for us. Decent position for someone's left foot, I would think.
Yeah. Do I by the way, I look like a little choppy on my screen. Do I look choppy to you?
No, you look good.
Oh, okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure that I'm sanity checking myself. So, yeah.
No, you're all good.
Yeah, Wilmer bundled up. I mean, once you get over the 100-degree mark in El Paso, though, if you're in the breeze out on the Pacific coast, you're going to be taking precautions. Does look like Gabby's probably set to whip this one in, but
Eric Calvillo's right foot. Interesting.
Okay.
I mean, the shape on it was nice, to be fair.
Yeah, and then blazed over the bar, unfortunately, in the end by Andy Cabrera, but
because like Andy and Armando got in each other's way there a little bit.
Yeah.
Now this is interesting for Monterey because they are clearly just pumping the ball up the field as soon as they get it. Not really looking to set. Now I don't know much about Monterey. Is this their style, Phil, or
yeah,
do we think this is just a something to the approach for today?
I would say in general, like, they are going to look to play quick. They're going to look to hit on the break. They typically focus, sort of defensively first, and if they're solid, then they kind of back themselves to just try to take those opportunities to get forward. I will say that I like our odds most often. Like, we saw the quality that was required to get Elijah Paul in that like first time. So I'm hoping that we can make it, to where it will take brilliance to play that way, I guess. Like,
seeing a guy named Ivanovic is really triggering me to like that real shithouse Chelsea side.
I was gonna say Bronislav.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, Luke Ivanovic is the budget Australian version of Bronislav. So
got it.
Yeah. I do appreciate how Australia does pump out sort of very international surnames with the most like bro surfer name, right?
Yeah. No, that's true. Lots of Italians there. So you get like a Bradley like Panichelli, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, I was gonna say not Brad. As Daroma latching onto a loose ball, but then overcooks the touch a little bit. Yeah, I would say too, like Locomotive's midfield has been an area the last couple of games that I've been just a bit disappointed in. I would say Oakland is where it started, and OC obviously it was just they were just like far too easy to play through. But I think a big this is a big one for DeRoma and Calvillo and definitely Coronado coming into the side to get right.
I think Ivanovic may have seen a card for this. That was a little
Yeah.
heavy.
Yeah.
And it was late.
Yeah, I think he almost gets away with it because it's just clumsy. Like which is weird. I would say it is like nowhere near the ball, and I think he actually is helped out by the fact that it is so clumsy. But
Right.
not he doesn't like kick through him or anything. I think that's the only thing that probably keeps him from seeing a booking. Because yeah, timing wise, like that was just a terrible challenge. But it's almost more lazy than malicious. Like
for sure. Does look like, for anyone who's keeping track, Jamali Waite's Jamaica did beat Guadeloupe today, I think.
Okay.
So snaps for Jamaica.
Still cooking with the Gold Cup going on, and
let's see. Seems like the game is sort of settling into a pattern now.
Yeah.
The high press is on.
Monterey Bay trying to play their way through it, end up going all the way back to the keeper, and they do get the ball out, but luckily collected by Akwe, and then
Gabby
Coronado plays across to Gabby.
I think he buys that one a little bit, actually.
Ivanovic involved again, though.
Yes. That'll be an interesting tussle to keep an eye on.
Yeah. Okay, now, I mean, he got the talking to. It's like 45 seconds later, he commits another foul, like player running into a promising area.
Yeah, and that was a nice move, but for
I don't know
what he did.
And Calvillo over this one again, and I mean, it had a decent delivery the last time he got over the ball, but
I'm not really sure what he was trying there. I think that just came off wrong because he's going towards the near post, but everyone's running far post.
Is that just a straight up under hit? Like it might be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know that he was trying to go there because that doesn't make sense.
Torres driving into some space, floats across into the center, and just a miscue from Andy Cabrera because he tried to drag that with his left foot into space and just couldn't pull it off. And Monterey Bay now trying to hit on the break again, and they are finding some love down that left side. I think it's now Lottie down that flank, but great challenge from Palermo Ortiz, and then
really good by Palermo.
Quezada comes away with it. It's one of these where it's like you kind of hope that Locomotive are just wary of the game that Monterey Bay want to play and awake to it, right? Because you certainly don't want to get dragged into a track meet, like unless that's the sort of game that you're trying to play.
Right. No, absolutely. And they do seem to want to stretch the pitch, and I don't know that necessarily suits us on the road and in the form that we're in.
Yeah. And if I had to put money on it, I'd say this pitch is probably at least a little bit bigger than the swap, so ends up being a lot of running. Coronado fouled there, so or advantage play. I don't even know, like if play technically stopped, but Locomotive maintained possession, so DeRoma on the ball in the center of the park. I'd say ever since that assist that DeRoma had for Andy Cabrera, what game was that? Was that Vegas?
Could have been.
I think it was Vegas. Daroma's been like relatively quiet, basically, like since that assist, which was like brilliant. I would say the last couple of games for Daroma, they've lacked his like typical stamp on the game as nice little interchange in the center of the park from Calvillo, and now a foul goes Locomotive's way.
It was a nice
Mondo,
little play in the middle of the park, but
yeah, broken up in the end by, I want to say Fonguk was the one who ended up fouling Moreno there. And Cabrera, Wilmer Cabrera certainly asking the question, like
how much more of this are we gonna allow?
They're kicking us all over the place. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, and I mean it's just a little bit clumsy in the end. It might have actually been Laura that. Oh, I was just gonna say it might have actually been Laura that came over and fouled him, and then I guess he retreated so quickly from the area that I misidentified. But anyways,
let's go. I'm ahead of you probably.
Calvillo to Coronado, chipped into the box, headed away but not well. Torres back in. Akwe stayed up. Akwe goal.
The celebration.
Oh man. I'll take that over youth group, to be honest. 1-0.
No, they're gonna hit the youth group.
They're gonna still hit. They'll still hit the youth group.
What a leap! What a leap! And this is this Gabby Torres with the ball in?
Yeah. Yep.
See, I mean,
out on the flank,
let him cook.
Let him cook. Exactly. He doesn't need to be in midfield. Just let him do his thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, like classic second phase of a set piece where everybody had the confidence to continue, like to stay up, and Akwe, right place, right time. Poor marking in the end from Monterey Bay, I think it has to be said, to allow a essentially free header from that far out. But
and now cards are coming out, it looks like.
Oh, this is a bit interesting. It was kind of like the ball was, so for delaying the restart.
Well, now this gives Monterey something to think about, right? Because I think they're clearly their tactic was going to be like, get tight, foul them. Now it's cost you. So now what?
Yeah. No, it's interesting. Was that Palermo Ortiz who was booked for delaying the restart?
Yeah.
So,
which, like, don't kill our momentum.
Well, and it is frustrating because I do think, as someone who primarily watches Locomotive, like I do watch other USL Championship, but obviously, a vast majority of the games that I watch are Locomotive.
Right.
I do feel like Locomotive has bad luck in when teams deserve yellows against them, them complaining about like the other team not being shown yellows always results in them getting booked for something stupid first, like, or something trivial, I would say, or relatively minor.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
It just, it's the evidence is only anecdotal. I don't have any data there, but it does feel that way. So.
Whoops, my bad. I turned my camera off for whatever
reason. No, you're good. I was like, I figured there was something going on, but maybe hiding the reaction. Is Locomotive in the attack here? Daroma tried to lay it off for Moreno, bounced up off Calvillo's chest, but Locomotive not able to latch on, and really well done. Palermo Ortiz is just really good at this. When he gets dragged wide, I actually feel a lot better than I would about most other center backs, because his defending in those one-on-one situations is typically quite good.
Yeah, he's good at reading the space. Where I get concerned with him is when he like goes on an adventure up the field.
Yeah, when he goes
then
full.
He can't. Yeah, going backwards, I don't think is his.
Yeah,
his
when he goes Frodo Baggins, that's when you know. That was really well done from Quesada, I believe, tracking back and Now Locomotive trying to play out through the press. This is definitely one of the more, this is, I would say, one of the possessions in which Monterey has held like a higher line of engagement, and they eventually do retreat, but they are looking for the time where they can trigger that press, and it's very, very selective, it seems, but
it seems like Coronado's kind of becoming like an auxiliary center back to help us play out.
Yeah, almost doing. It reminds me of sort of when Jordan Henderson played as the deepest lying Liverpool midfielder. He would often be that sort of like option in the initial, like the deeper stages of buildup, and yeah, just an additional body there to kind of stand in the space between the center backs and make sure nothing bad happens. But Torres getting down the flank again, ball into the center. That was actually, I thought maybe an intervention from Monterey Bay prevented Beto Avila from getting on the end of that, but it does.
That was brave of the defender. He went head first into that. Jeez.
Yeah. I don't know if that comes off Avila last. It is a goal kick in the end for Monterey Bay, but another example of Gabby Torres getting into space down the left and making something happen sort of single-handedly. So once again, a bit of a vindication for the selection going the way that it did, and the Gabby Torres midfield experiment ending, at least for the time being. And as I say that, I think he's galloping it straight up the middle of the field. So I don't know. He just plays where, like, I don't know. Maybe he just has less responsibilities now. As
my thing with him is like, let him start at left back, and where the game takes him, is fine. But like, you don't have to shoehorn him into midfield to start. You know?
Yep. Yeah, we talked. I think we talked early on about the fact that he pops up kind of everywhere throughout the game, and it gives. I feel like being in the fullback spot gives him a lot more freedom to do that versus
for sure,
versus being in midfield. But yeah, because if he starts drifting wide as a midfielder, that's like now space that you're leaving. Yeah.
Right.
Whereas if you're in possession and you drift narrow,
that man's name is Xavi.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
Parents.
Yeah, someone's
days.
Parents.
Jeez.
See, the real crime though is like, okay, so you get named Xavi, right? That is what it is. Like, you get named that, but like putting it on the jersey, that's you. Like, no one said you had to do Xavi on the back. Like, you have a last name. You could. I was gonna say that.
Presumably you have a last name, right?
Yeah. Like, I'm just saying. There are a lot of. I'm trying to think of, like, there are a lot of Pedros in the world, and there's only one Pedro who's wearing Pedro on the back of his kit, and people knowing who he is, right? Like
I don't know his last name.
Right. He is just Pedro.
Now there's space for us.
Yeah, I don't know how you're getting so far ahead of me. Can I just say that?
I don't know, and I was trying to pause it, and I don't see a way to pause it.
There is, like, I don't know. It's weird though. Beto Avila going infield for Daroma, then Coronado and Daroma. That was nice too, because it was looking like Monterey Bay were actually building up pretty dangerously, and it was a nice intervention and a nice quick break from us. As Quezada plays it into Fita Moreno, and Moreno's been interesting tonight because he's definitely popping up on all three sides of the front three. Like, he's playing a freer role, I guess you would say. Oh, Torres finding himself in trouble. Luke Ivanovic. Well done by Wahab Akwe to stand his ground there. He may be in California, but, implementing Florida Florida ideals with the stand your ground.
That's diabolical. It really is. No, I mean if you're
good
not
block.
gonna close the player down there, you have to make sure you interpret the space right. And
Yeah.
he did that, and
then got involved.
Clearly mad at himself.
Got involved on the subsequent shot as well to block from Naulati, who I'm going to be calling Naulati in protest of him having Xavi on the back of his kit. So,
by the way, these Ivan's baked potatoes that they're like advertising look crazy. Like I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
oh wait,
like,
did
insane.
you looked them up?
I just Googled it. The advertising works.
That's funny.
Just like giant baked potatoes filled with, yeah.
That was initially really well done from Andy Cabrera, and he's going to get the return ball from Moreno. Nice touch out of feet. First time opportunity. That was actually a very slick sequence from Andy Cabrera, and unfortunately just couldn't get the contact on the shot right. But my word, like the initial little 1-2 with Moreno was top class, and to drag it out of his feet in front of him to be able to give himself the opportunity was really great, and sort of what we want to see from Andy in that be sort of in the vicinity of the width of the goal,
right?
And in shooting positions, and to have him create something from a little bit deeper for himself is encouraging, I guess. Early doors still in this one, 25 minutes in.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, they're just allowing so much in terms of like physical play. I mean, yes, it's a contact sport, but let's be reasonable.
Going down the line, yeah. Avila is getting held back a bit there, and then the foul does go against Aroma, so. Monterey Bay looking for the long ball again. It's Ivanovic, but Moramora alive to that one, deals with the danger, and
man, really good by Wahab.
Yeah, it was another.
What a goal does to a motherfucker.
Yeah, it was really well done against Xavi there as he threatened to get into the box. And then Beto Avila, nice persistence there to find Daroma. Daroma slides it through looking for Moreno, but he could have put a lot more on that. I
like the idea.
Yeah. He could have trusted. He kind of didn't trust Amando there as much as he could have. I think maybe he's a little bit concerned about putting it out for a goal kick as well, but that yeah, all in all, I think he could have trusted Amando's pace a little bit more there. The Locomotive back in possession. I am guilty of watching the ticker. I'm so not used to there being a ticker on sporting events that I pay attention to. Very weird to see Joe Bellingham at Dortmund, like the ultimate like legacy hire.
Yeah, that's I don't know how good he is. I've never watched him play. Presumably I will this season, but it's
because he was at Sunderland, right? Like,
right, yeah.
And then he got signed by Dortmund. So I'm just, I don't know. To me, it's like,
I will say, like, shout out to whoever's planning out these boys' careers, because going to Dortmund rather than losing every match with Sunderland next season is probably better for him.
Yeah.
With all due respect to the Black Cats, but
yeah, unfortunately, I think you can pretty much take the last championship win or the last playoff winners Premier League season, Ipswich, and say it's probably going to go similarly. So, yeah, it's just a sad reality.
Do love that they're back though, because they were
Yeah,
a Premier League mainstay when I was getting into the league, so it does
absolutely.
feel like heritage.
Yeah, hopefully Richie Ryan enjoyed a couple of
Right.
brews to celebrate Sunderland's promotion. He was a Sunderland Academy product, and
That's right. We will have the Tyne-Wear Derby next season.
yeah,
So
that's the real treat of all
yeah,
that.
that's gonna
Certainly,
be fun.
because so Leeds back in the league, so you get the Leeds Manchester United sort of beef. They'll be fighting to survive. They'll both be fighting for survival next season, so that'll be like a fun watch towards the bottom of the table. Big rivalry. Manchester United and Leeds United just trying to finish 17th.
Oh my god.
Locomotive, I don't know, game's kind of like stalemated a little bit. It was Daroma like about a minute ago with like sold another pass short, and then not able to come out on top in that scrap in midfield. And Cabrera commits the foul in the end, and Locomotive not pleased with.
I think that was more of a foul by Coronado. But
yeah,
okay.
that's what it was. All a little bit strange. Yeah, or maybe it was Coronado that was whistled. But either way, free kick right on the half-hour mark for Monterey Bay. 1-0 El Paso Locomotive lead in California, and safe to say any lead these days we're pleased with. So
for sure.
Via the Wahab Akwe goal, chipped into the box, knotted down, and luckily there was no sort of secondary run there. I think actually a foul went Locomotive's way, as I think it was Elijah Paul who kind of climbed all over the back of I think it was Quezada. So Locomotive free kick, and all in all, a decent start. I mean, what have you made of the opening half hour, Mika?
Yeah, I think once we got past the 10-minute mark, it settled down a little bit. I think obviously the Monterey's tactic, if you will, or their approach to kind of getting really touch tight and trying to unsettle us backfired with ultimately allowing the free kick that led to Wahab Akwe's goal. Great leap by the defender, and he's been playing full of confidence ever since. So
I just saw that Daroma run. I feel like he's definitely fouled, right? Like that's
yeah. But they kind of played it on quickly after that, so
yeah, that was a bit strange. Some nice control, but yeah, agreed that it's been, for the most part, like quite a good start to proceedings. As Daroma does this time earn the free kick, and I think Daroma making his case that, hey, when I ghosted past two players on the other side, like, and was running into space, like I was probably fouled, right, and probably could have been a yellow actually. Are we getting nope, just a talking to for Robinson out there on the left-hand side for Monterey Bay. So still no bookings on Monterey Bay's side.
Speaking of the like ticker at the bottom.
Yeah.
Obviously they had that headline about Kevin Durant buying a minority stake in PSG.
Yes.
And I saw someone say, this motherfucker always shows up when shit is built. I was like, I don't even watch basketball, and I know what that means.
What's that graphic of it? Like the when he joined
Golden State.
Yeah, when he joined Golden State, there was that like graphic or whatever that he. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can. Oh, the next chapter. My next chapter. Yeah.
His like, what is that, like Players Tribune or
Players
whatever?
Tribune, yeah. Because he released that article like when he joined Golden State, and yeah, that's funny. Showing up to PSG immediately following the European Championship, like European Cup.
Shameless.
Yep, that's funny. With I think it has been kind of interesting that and probably more than a little telling that amidst like a sea of transactions across USL Championship, whether it was coaching changes or like player signings or any of this stuff, as Monterey Bay are breaking forward here. Nice challenge again by Palermo Ortiz, and does enough to keep it in, I think, but throwing goes Monterey Bay's way. Amidst a sea of these like transactions and teams sort of shaking things up, I think the silence on any sort of like personnel front from Locomotive has been quite loud in terms of it feels unlikely that they're doing any business like mid-season this year.
Which is odd because we used to love a mid-season signing.
That's when we would eat. We would feast on
Yeah.
the mid-season. I mean,
Yeah.
season 1, that run to the Western Conference Final does not happen without the Kiesewetter Velasquez signings. Like, let's
For
be
sure.
so real. We were okay.
But we needed that cutting edge.
Yeah, we needed
Yeah.
that real quality, and yeah, I liked I think it always made us nervous to a certain extent because you kind of rely on as a corner for Monterey Bay here, and a chance hopefully for Locomotive to defend. They take it short, hooked in towards the back post, and well done by Mora there to stand up and collect. He goes long. Moreno was leaping for that one, but goes Monterey Bay's way. But yeah, basically the approach can make you a little nervous because you're kind of you're leaving certain stuff up to fate, or saying essentially that we're gonna leave some room in the budget to make sure that we can address needs later on, which means you're essentially like not doing it in the off season. And we always found a way, it seems, to like really fill the gaps that we needed. So I would say in general, if it is a binary decision between like, hey, you either get to be well set up for the beginning of the season, but don't get to address any like depth issues or anything that come up, or like you feel a little light at the beginning of the season, but you have room to make changes, as Moreno goes into the box here, collects the ball before it goes over the end line, plays a centering pass. It's come out to Quezada, who has a hit and blasts it over the bar. But yeah, I would say essentially like I'd almost rather, like, if it were a binary choice between those two things, which I don't think it technically is, but let's, for the sake of argument, I'd almost rather start a little lighter with room to address needs through the season than saying like, hey, this is what we got and it had better last us all the way through October at least.
I tend to agree because you don't know what's going to happen up until that point. And I mean, that probably is the logic of the January transfer window in the rest of the world. So, yeah, I agree.
So another free kick Monterey Bay's way.
I feel that Amando Moreno's touch is just letting him down tonight. Like the ball is
Yeah.
coming to him in good areas, and he's either having to take a second touch, the touch is too loose, or he gives it away.
Yep.
But like he's in a threatening area every time the ball comes to him, so it doesn't feel like he's playing badly, right?
No, I wouldn't say so. I think it's been a kind of a similar vibe recently with Moreno, where it's like it's been just like this much off
Mm-hmm.
of being brilliant,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it ends up feeling worse. Like after 90 minutes, where it's like for every sort of nearly moment, when you add it up, it just like doesn't.
And you'll see another nearly shortly.
I don't know how I'm falling behind. I'm not like
I don't
stuttering or
know.
anything, but
We'll have
I'm
to.
somehow like a minute behind. What is going on? I'm gonna
We'll,
try something after this chance, because I don't want to miss it. Here is Coronado. Yeah, he moved into a lot of space. Moreno, Coronado, back to Moreno. Oh, he just drags it.
yeah, it tries to go for the Mbappe near post.
Because I just hit go live and then it took me to literally the same exact spot.
That's so weird.
But
And
it's not freezing or anything. Like, am I somehow moving at the speed of light or some shit where I'm like aging at a different rate? Like, what's happening?
well, and no, and then like I have like no choices. Like my choices are like mute and full screen.
That's weird.
It is
Because I have a pause button, but
no, I don't have shit. Like they
huh.
But then
All
again,
right.
I'm watching through Paramount Plus. Is that
Oh shit. Maybe I'll try that. Hold on. I'm gonna because I was watching on CBS.
Oh, okay.
That probably explains it.
They're like the free stream is behind for all you
The free
poors.
yeah, you're gonna pay the price. Like, there's no such thing as free TV, bitch. Like, all right, here we go. Oh, it's actually like visible from like the main page of Paramount, not like the headline news or whatever, but on the live now, it is in the first.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe this will solve the issue somewhat. So I'm looking at injured Palermo Ortiz.
Right. Now there's like a replay of oh that's nasty.
And kind of like more
Ooh.
vicious than because like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Is like a little Sergio Ramos, Mo Salah vibes
But with the leg.
with the leg.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not great.
Wait, now I'm actually like the picture's also better over here. What the fuck?
Are
They
you
really
I'm
are.
at 41, 27, 28.
Oh, I'm actually a little ahead of you now,
Okay.
but by like 4 seconds.
Okay, so it's not like a minute.
No, I'm at 41:40.
Okay, yeah, we're like basically
Yeah,
synced up now. Cool.
but yeah, I do not have a pause button over here.
No, it's like you get what you get. I think that Wahab Akwe goal is more impressive
Yeah,
than it looks because
yeah,
it does appear to go behind him.
yeah.
Like,
No, it
and
is
he
a really good
leaps to
header.
like go back and still get power on it. Headers to me are just like ridiculous. Like the fact that anyone can reliably do that is wild to me. Like what?
Yeah. I
Do hope Palermo Ortiz is okay though.
yeah,
That
this is
was
not looking too good. Like,
yeah, and he's
he looks like he's
played
in a lot of
really
pain.
well.
He has been very good.
Oh, and here's Wahab asking for the sub for him.
Damn.
Now, who is on the bench?
Yeah, it's a good
Brian Romero, I
question.
would guess would be the obvious, or Tony, I guess. Yeah, either Tony or Brian.
Yeah. Is that? Let's see.
I think I'd personally play Romero.
Yeah, probably. And I mean, just based on recent history, he's the one who's had a little bit more faith, I guess, if you want to put it that way, from
Yeah. But who is this warming up? I think that's Tony warming up, is it not? Yeah. Oh, man, that's a shame for Palermo.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was playing really well. And I mean,
Looks like he can't put much weight on it.
yeah.
I do hope it's just some
Wait.
swelling.
Now he's saying he's gonna try. It looks like he's trying to say, like, I'm gonna try to run it off.
Yeah.
Because that was not looking good.
No.
And now he was kind of mentioning or motioning back to the bench, like, no, I actually don't want to come off. Or at least that's what it
Yeah, that's what it looked
appeared. Yeah. Oh, and yeah, they're doing some spray. Huh.
Well, now that leaves
Well,
us 10 men
yeah, I was gonna say we
to
are back
defend
under
our 1-0 lead into the half.
Yep.
Eek.
Oh man, Curacao drew Canada? I didn't see that. Well defended there by Eric Calvillo and behind for a goal kick. And yeah, Palermo jogs back on. It's looks in a little discomfort, but let's see what he does. I don't know. He does not look to be moving comfortably enough. 5 minutes feels insane.
That is. Let me find out Curaçao's like a serious team. Holy shit, they've only lost like once in their last like 15.
Is Curacao has Dutch connections? Am I
Yeah, that's right. They're part of the like their whole team is like
Dutch?
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh
Well, because I know the Dutch national team, it's sort of like a mutually beneficial situation, right? Where it's like Curaçao's national team benefits because they have like Dutch players who qualify to play for Curacao, but the Netherlands definitely also benefits from having, like, I would say a very significant part of, as Palermo Ortiz looks to be back down here, but a very significant part of or portion of the Netherlands roster is only possible because of
they're
Netherlands
yeah,
relationship.
exactly.
Because like I think it's like Genie Wijnaldum, Virgil van Dijk, Cody Gakpo. I think like a
The
lot of these guys
Timbers.
are all, yeah, the Timbers are Curacao. Like there's a lot of Curacao involvement, or like Netherlands Antilles, I think is what the Dutch Antilles or whatever. Is that what it used to
The
be?
ABC. Yeah. Yeah, wow. They've been in
Yeah.
decent form.
Yeah. And when the World Baseball Classic spins up, I think that's this year. Curacao also a force in that.
Oh, really?
Compared to like the Netherlands has a national team because of because of Curacao, essentially.
Oh, gotcha. So it's like the other way around for
Yeah.
baseball.
Yeah. Um. So Palermo does end up coming off. He tried to run it off there, but I mean, he never looked comfortable, and
No.
in the end, he's helped.
The mind was willing, but the body
Mhm.
not so much.
Yeah. No, it's unfortunate. And it was Tony Alfaro who has come on in his stead. Poor back pass here, and
Well, that's really bad. Jesus.
Capiozano had to be alive to that one, because holy cow, that was nearly a tap in for Amano Moreno.
So this is interesting because Tony's come on now and Wahhab's had to switch over to the right side.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I
Beto Avila, that was a nice little bit of work.
yeah. I mean, at this point, you don't do anything stupid, right? Let's just see out the half.
Yeah, yeah. Just if anything comes your way, like, sure, but yeah, I would say in general, just get in at 1-0. That's the moral of the story here. Nice little interchange between
nice.
Calvillo and Quezada out there on the right hand side, and then Calvillo looking to chip a ball in behind. Avila and Moreno were both interested, but neither could get there, and then I think Moreno commits a foul in the end.
The standard is mind-boggling. Like, are we allowing a tight game, or I don't understand.
No, it does feel like it's officiated quite inconsistently at the moment. San Antonio's been issued a red card in their game against New Mexico United, which is 2-2 at the moment. So,
whoa, that's like I suppose you could say a top of the table clash. Yikes.
Yep. Ball chipped in from Monterey Bay, and luckily,
I suppose a draw is in our interests, right?
Yeah, I would say draw is probably kind of best case scenario.
Who's hosting?
New Mexico, I believe.
Got it.
Yeah, New Mexico. So, yeah, Locomotive. I mean, we've crossed 5 minutes played here, so it should be just a matter of time before the whistle goes. And referee allowing play to continue. And now it looks like he's going to blow the halftime whistle. Most unnecessary throw in.
Why would you allow the throw? Like,
very strange. But that being said, it is. Oh wait, no, he's actually having it retaken so that he can. So we play on,
bruh.
And now he's given a free kick Monterey's way. Again, feels a little soft. At the risk of feeling homery or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels a little one-sided in terms of like the little stuff being given like Monterey Bay's way versus.
Well, and if something results from this, then it's a fucking scandal.
Yeah. Because why are we even still on the pitch? Like it.
Right.
He should have blown for halftime at the throw-in. Now Lottie takes the free kick, and it was a chance, but headed over the bar from Lara. And I think this will just about do it, probably, for the first half, but not before we play nearly 7 minutes of stoppage time. So, anyway, 1-0, Monterey Bay and El Paso Locomotive. Locomotive with the lead, courtesy of Wahab Akwe's early goal. And yeah, Locomotive headed into the locker room with a lead out in California. You talked about the fact, Mika, that this has not been, and probably the state of California has not really been a happy hunting ground for Locomotive over the years. So good just to take a lead into halftime and give ourselves a little bit of a beachhead here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was obviously very positive for us to weather kind of the style of play that Monterey are clearly trying to impose on us with the physicality and getting really touch tight, and they paid for it on one of the free kicks, and it's a great leap by Wahab Akwe, who I think's been fantastic today. Gabi Torres has been really good. Need a little more sharpness in the top half of the pitch for sure. Yeah. But then losing Palermo Ortiz, obviously, I think that'll have an effect on things going forward, and I presume that will change slightly the team talk, because I think you lose, or the team talk at halftime, because I think you lose a lot of like culture on the ball coming out of the back, right?
Yeah.
So I think we'll probably have to adjust a little bit the way that we play.
Yeah.
without him. So that's a shame. I hope it's nothing serious, obviously, but yeah, 1-0 and something to build on. So
Yeah. Quick breakdown of the stats just to measure it against our own eye test. Locomotive enjoyed 59% of the ball to 41 for Monterey Bay in that first half, but 6 shots to 4, 1 shot on target for either side. So no edge there. And I think that kind of speaks to the sharpness element, Mika, in terms of Locomotive certainly had more shooting opportunities, and some of those didn't become shots, and the shots that did become shots largely ballooned over the bar. So we have to find a bit of sharpness there. Monterey Bay, 11 fouls in the first half, 9 for Locomotive. And that's even sort of with the conversation we had right before halftime here, where it's like, I think Monterey has been getting away with more in terms of the fouls being called. So it's wild that it's as even as it is, because it does sort of suggest that it's being maybe called a little bit more heavily, or a little bit more, the whistle's a little more quick when Locomotive are the ones committing the foul. And, you know, as is tradition, Locomotive carry the 1 yellow card in this game, despite having the fewer fouls. So,
bright
but
side, Palermo Ortiz can't get sent off.
yeah, no, that is fair.
Um,
He's already off the pitch, so he's protected
yeah.
in this case. Interesting, I guess, in terms of that change, but also in general, like, was there anything that particularly stood out? I guess maybe we cast our eyes to Gabby Torres, who did provide the assist for the Wahab Akwe goal, and deployed in that fullback role immediately has a sort of differential impact from what we've been able to see from Gabby over the last few weeks.
Yeah, I think obviously it's just more natural for him to start from that position and just take the ball down the line. He's obviously very good at dribbling at speed, so why not? And of course, he sets up the goal, and proves why he's probably best out there. And we talked at the beginning of the season how that was going to be the kind of the question mark, is those wide areas, who's going to play, because there's so many options at Cabrera's disposal. But I think clearly it's him. As we look at our upcoming schedule here, not the not the best schedule coming up. San Antonio coming up, but
Yeah, a lot on there. But no, all in all, taking a lead into halftime, it giving themselves a good foundation to build off of. The scores around the league, briefly for anyone interested: Detroit City beat Miami FC earlier today 2-0. Vegas took all 3 points in Indy earlier today, a 1-0 win for the Lights via a Knight Pickering goal. Pittsburgh beat Tampa Bay, so the
Tampa, man,
the
prayers.
depths. Tampa now officially, having played a game more, are below Hartford at the bottom of the East, like very dead last
Bruh,
in
I'm
the
so
East.
sorry to interrupt, but New Mexico United scored 2
Yes, so
extra time goals.
that was
I
gonna be my
hate it
dramatic.
here.
That was gonna be my dramatic reveal. Because we had just got done talking about it, but no, yeah, New Mexico United, 2 stoppage time goals from Marlon Vargas in a minute. Like, didn't even, both 90+3. And he got subbed at 90+4, so he scores 2 goals in the 93rd minute and then just departs. So yeah, 4-2 win. It looks like it's gonna end up for New Mexico United against 10 men of San Antonio FC.
I will be right back. I'm gonna let my dogs out so that they don't crap on the floor.
Do your thing. The sending off for San Antonio was Luis Paredes, so he's going to be probably suspended. But it looks like it was a second yellow, so it'll just be the one match. Sacramento Republic got a 2-0 win over Rhode Island. So a solid win for the Republic. Actually, this is kind of terroristic, to be honest. If anybody watched this match, there were 10 total shots in the game between both teams. And Sacramento scored from 2 out of its 3 shots on target. So 2-0 win for Sacramento. Charleston Battery beat up on Phoenix. It was looking like a little bit in the balance when Hope Avievu equalized in the 36th minute, but a couple of goals from Arturo Rodriguez and a goal from former New Mexico United player Nanan Hosu sinks Phoenix quite easily. Oakland Roots get a 1-0 win over Birmingham. Birmingham, who was fresh off of a very solid win in Sacramento, goes home against Oakland Roots and loses 1-0. Kai Green penalty in the 55th minute. And then the aforementioned New Mexico game and Monterey Bay Locomotive is the last game of the night. So yeah, we are officially closing things out here, but that is the scores around the league. And an interesting day of USL action. I don't know Tampa Bay Rowdies. I don't know what the fix is there. They're just they just are the worst team in the East, and it's kind of crazy. Because when have we ever said that about about Tampa Bay? And then the worst team in the West beats Birmingham, who they're not having a great season. They've already sacked their coach, so they got Mark Briggs in from Sacramento. So all in all, probably came out on top. But yeah, taking a look at some of the news. Atletico Dallas. Hopefully, y'all are excited for that. Going to play in the Cotton Bowl, so it'll be interesting. Nice little long weekend trip for Locomotive fans if they're getting out to Dallas to see Locomotive v Dallas next year. And then Louisville City just continues to get these great international friendlies, which I don't know why the rest of the league can't leverage some of this stuff, but Eintracht Frankfurt and Aston Villa playing friendlies against Louisville in the States this year. That's, I don't know. It's just crazy. There is, in case you were wondering, there are levels to this. Unfortunately. So
what levels? What did I miss?
I was talking about we had some news flash across the screen, and Louisville City, they have 2 international friendlies coming up this summer. Eintracht Frankfurt, who has come to Louisville in the past, so this is like a sort of a relationship now, where it's been sort of an annual thing. But also Aston Villa is going to play Louisville City.
That's wild.
Which is crazy. Like, I know, like saying
all Eintracht Frankfurt did was tour our baseball field. Like we couldn't play them. Like
they trained. That's what feels kind of criminal about the whole thing is like if a team of Eintracht Frankfurt's stature is going to come to El Paso, then you gotta figure out a way to make them play a game. Like that's just not them being here, and being in El Paso and us not taking advantage of that it just makes no sense.
No, 100%. It's disappointing. But yeah, Aston Villa, holy shit.
Yeah, that's a huge pull. So, Because I was gonna say like people will probably hear Villa like if they're like people who listen who are like casual fans of the Premier League or whatever, and they'll kind of think of Villa as like, oh yeah, that's like a mid-table Premier League side or whatever. Like Villa were like in the Champions League conversation for much of the season. Like they are a quite serious outfit.
Yeah, and they attract a lot of talent, to be fair.
Mhm.
And they have a
So
world-class manager in Unai Emery, so
yeah. So um no, that is a crazy pull for Louisville City. And I mean credit to them. It's just it does. The reason I said there's levels is just like it makes it clear that this isn't some like sort of blanket sweetheart deal that the USL Championship gets, right? Like Louisville City as an organization like had to go out and build the relationships that it takes to create the situation, and plus they have a great stadium. They have shown that they've got a base that will show up, right? Like to this stuff. So I think like all that combined, not every team in USL Championship can demonstrate that same kind of clout with the facilities as well to back it up.
right.
So I am to close out the last bit of European soccer talk that I will allow myself. Number one, I'm like this Liverpool hat, this like 90s vibe Liverpool hat. This is a Father's Day gift from Erica. This was not an ask of mine. She got this for me like on her own.
Okay.
I was like,
Big ups to wifey.
for sure. And I'm in like a crazy I would say, and maybe not all Liverpool fans, but a lot of Liverpool fans, and particularly Liverpool fans who have an affinity for the Bundesliga like myself. We're in this Liverpool's in this in between stage where the Nike kit deal doesn't expire until August. And so the Adidas kit deal doesn't start till August. And yet they obviously just announced Florian Wirtz like coming to and it's official, it's across the line. Like I've seen him now, doing the interviews and all that stuff. And I can't even buy the kit because it just like it's not real yet.
And he's wearing a kit he'll never play in.
Exactly. Like he's wearing Nike training gear that he will never.
Which is funny because like you could see like he wears the old kit, quote unquote, in his
Yeah.
signing pictures. But like
Yep.
outside of that, he's wearing Adidas because he's an Adidas athlete.
Exactly.
So it's just like, what the hell?
Which also, that sort of stuff does get you thinking too about, because Wirtz was a jump ball between like Bayern and Liverpool and Man City at a certain point, and the Liverpool getting Adidas does feel like it might have swayed. Like if Liverpool wasn't an Adidas and he's a 360 athlete or whatever, like maybe it doesn't happen. But we are back underway in the second half, so enough about across the pond off season. But Christian Canales joining us in the chat as well. Christian, how's it going?
Yo.
Locomotive trying to get on the ball here. Beto Avila and Andy Cabrera down the right-hand side, but
Man, Wahab has been imperious tonight.
yeah, he's been very, very good. Especially since he had kind of a rough night out against OC as well. So he's playing with a bit of a fire under him.
Right.
Which is great to see the response, because shit happens. Sometimes you don't have the game that you set out to have.
By the way, my mute button does work, right? Because I don't want to give anyone misophonia while I'm eating goldfish.
I believe it works.
Okay,
It does. It does work. It does work. Confirmed. A bit of an awkward moment for Moramora, but the ball. It does seem like the ball went
holy shit.
over the end line.
Has there been an Olympico in USL?
I believe there have been.
Really?
I'd have to look. I know Locomotive has come close a couple of times, but I think I think there has been for some reason. I do think.
Very kind of you, sir.
Shout out. Yep. No, thank you for that. And I know some of these watchalongs are conflicting with, people like eighth notch, like watching together out somewhere and stuff like that. So no big deal either way, but happy to have folks join if they can. And Monterey Bay onto the ball now, and bit of a dangerous moment here for Locomotive. Stings the palms eventually of Sebastian Moramora from Elijah Paul, but
that was interesting for Monterey Bay because they had quite a few runners, and
yeah, I don't think that was
to like the least optimal one.
Yeah, I don't think that was their best shot, if I'm honest.
No,
but we'll take it. Yeah, a bit of an acute angle and sort of ends up straight into the path of Sebastian Moramora, but man, Ivanovic again. Another foul. I'm going to see how many fouls does Ivanovic have already? It's got to be a lot. Fatmob saying 4. Maybe that was his 5th, but still feels like a lot.
yeah,
Monterey
he's been
Bay
in the thick of it for sure.
trying a big switch. That was actually pretty solid control from Quezada there, under pressure, and then just hoofs it. But Monterey Bay have a throw over here on the near side. Try to go long down the line, and they actually do get the touch out wide. Cross comes into the center, too close to Moramora, though, and easily held. He does opt to go immediately long, and poor kick out, to be honest. And Monterey Bay sort of immediately back in business here. Run to the end line and another cross. Now Lottie, Ivanovic, and 2 Monterey Bay players down in the box, but nothing doing from the referee. And I think in both cases, it's like when you shoot, your follow through is not going to win you a penalty.
Right.
And maybe now Lottie is the only one who can maybe ask the question here, as it was oh no, there's nothing in that. Daroma and him make contact with the ball, I think, at the same time. So yeah, I think probably good no calls on both end from our referee, who we have been critical of, to be fair. So credit where it's due. I think, like, obviously happy to avoid a pen in either case, and now he does give that foul against Soyberg.
Did Monterey Bay? I mean, they changed their badge and kind of dropped the Union branding. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Did they like announce that, or was that just like quietly done?
I feel like it was quietly done.
Okay, because it was confusing before when it had Union in there.
Well, and they like never used Union.
Right.
It was all very strange. It was like, is Union the nickname?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like El Paso Locomotive, like Monterey Bay Union. Is it like a yeah? Monterey Bay have actually grown into this game here early in the second half, and the shot came in, held by Moramora. And in particular, Malongo has like really come alive in the second half and is kind of cooking down that left-hand side. I'm not liking the look of that early I didn't love that pass from Eric
No, that's
Calvillo
an
either, but
insane pass. What are you doing?
fantastic control. Like Coronado bails him out there with the touch, like, and the spin into space. But
Like,
my
that's
word,
something
that
you
was
do in a pressing drill. Like, why would you do that?
hospital pass. Like,
My goodness.
no, that is actually crazy. About to put me in the hospital with a pass like that.
Facts.
Alfaro tried to play the initial pass. It got cut out, but Moreno ends up on the end of it and squeezes between two players. Still in possession. He does find Andy Cabrera. Cabrera's got options. He cuts it back, and Eric Calvillo somehow.
It looks like he doesn't even really shoot.
Yeah, it was like casual, I guess. Like he didn't actually try to connect. He tried to just like let it slide into
Armando
the near.
does so well to get away from two guys there.
Yeah, and then nice to get to the end line, and we have to.
Or don't show the most important part of the replay. Yeah. That's fine. We love that. Thank you.
We cut it off to get that vital back pass to the goalkeeper. So, anyways. And now Monterey Bay streaking forward again. They are targeting this, their left, our right. Quezada, they're really going after here. And Malongo into the center, actually a good intervention. And man, I guess we are content to just like join the track meet.
This half starting like the first half started. It's weird.
Yeah. But even a little more danger, I guess, from Monterey Bay as a foul now for Coronado, and hopefully we can kind of just like take the opportunity to like breathe for 5 seconds. Malongo, I'm not sure why he didn't shoot. I think he actually tries to pass and just like overhits the pass. I'm not sure why he didn't have a go there, because that was almost a better shooting opportunity than the one he had just before that Mora saves.
Yeah, that was a weird decision, to be fair.
Coronado steps in a nice way there, and now the Roma to Calvillo, out to Cabrera. Coronado into some space. Cabrera looking for any opportunity to get the ball into the box, but Locomotive will sort of recycle things here and hope to drag Monterey Bay out a little bit. Coronado went for a chip over to Gabby Torres, but then Beto Avila really nicely done to win the ball back high up the field. Roma to Cabrera. Cabrera, was he fouled?
Oh, that looks like a
foul. He was. It looked like a foul, and it's given.
Oh.
Not a lot of complaints. Robinson shaking his head, but not a lot of complaints.
I think he knows.
The way all 22 players stopped the second that challenge was made. Like there was like that. Well,
like, well, shit.
It's funny because I think Cabrera kind of, I mean, it just is a penalty. It's kind of clear as day. It's not like a forceful challenge or anything like that. He just sticks a leg out, and it just is a foul. But
but I mean, Cabrera had put him on toast the previous sequence too, so he had a warning.
Yeah,
and
it's interesting because I thought Cabrera actually sort of messed up that sequence for a split second, where I was like, well, he was taking him inside, and I thought, all good, like he's creating something here, and then sort of hesitated, went back outside, but Cabrera to take it, slides it home.
Whew.
Andy Cabrera from the spot, straight into the corner, 2-0 El Paso Locomotive lead, and
it's that man again.
Yeah.
Back amongst the goals.
Why always me?
I have to say, I feel some type of way when the person who got fouled takes the penalty. Like, it just makes me nervous, but it's really well taken, to be fair to him.
It makes it seem ad hoc sometimes. Because if it's like, there are so many when you watch quite often, whatever, it's like everybody's got an established taker, so you kind of know who it is. For us, I never know who's going to take penalties.
No.
So when it's the guy who got fouled, it makes you feel like, okay, the reason that they're taking it is because they got fouled, not because people have confidence. Obviously, wait, first penalty make this season in the league, certainly, right? Because we won a penalty shootout in the Jägermeister Cup, so put some respect on our name.
Yeah.
Well, and in the Open Cup.
I was gonna say we won 2 penalty shootouts.
Yeah. Let's not first penalty made this season in the league. Let's get it right. I'm realizing.
Have we missed one? Like that makes it sound like.
Wait, have we even been awarded a penalty in the league?
I know that's just like one of those statements that might be technically true, but just lacking tons of context. Okay, Colombia in the chat.
We got watchers from Colombia. Love it.
Love that.
Let's hold on. Let's see if FB Ref can help me out here, because surely we've been awarded a penalty this year, but that would mean we missed it. Wait, no, that was our first penalty that we've been awarded in the league this season.
Okay. Bro, whatever AI you're using is doing fine.
Yep. Whatever. Soy ChatGPT.
That was an interesting challenge from Chavi there.
Yeah. Well, it's working good, Camilo. All good. Bueno. Well, 2-0 lead for Locomotive, and has to be said that probably no less than they deserve it. They are on the move here again. Beto Avila trying to get down the left-hand side. Some good work there defensively from Monterey Bay to keep him from creating anything overly dangerous. I think it was Gordon involved over there on that side, and big challenge comes in. Throw in goes Monterey's way, but the challenge from Avila, I think, was a miscue from Quezada there is left Malongo in some space. Malongo cuts inside, deflected around, and eventually it is a goal.
Any question about offside or no?
I don't know, the way it deflected around. I was having trouble even following.
I mean, that was coming. Malongo had been torching that side. Wahab has had to go over to a side he's not familiar with.
Yeah,
and it's just not good enough from Quesada.
Yeah, Quezada missing that initial cutout, then getting beat again, and then it deflects off Avila. I think it's interesting, or off Akwe. Yeah, I think it's interesting.
Yeah, he's absolutely on because Tony's on the fucking goal line.
Well, yeah. I think it's interesting as well. The and of course it's fucking Ivanovic who scores the goal. It's interesting because I think the conversation I think essentially what Moramora said to Akwe was like, hey, I had it covered, essentially. And I don't think Wahab has any opportunity to like consciously intervene. Like it's just hit at him. Like,
well, and I'm maybe I'm making a lot of this, but I do think when you play on a side you're not used to, like your angles are like different.
That too.
Your instincts are different.
Yeah.
Can he still be able to do it at a high level? Of course, he's a professional football player, but yeah, I mean, glad we have that insurance, but geez, it's been coming down that side, especially.
Yeah. Well, and this is where it gets into some of the discussion that I think I've had historically about, or not historically, but just this season about Locomotive. Like, we just aren't that good at playing with the lead.
Right.
So,
Subs win. I mean, I know when in like the 80th minute, obviously.
Yeah.
But
is that allowed?
Wait, why did Gabby just throw it that way?
Dog.
Everyone disliked that.
Our goal is that way.
It's genuinely doing my head in seeing people in like late June bundled up.
Yeah.
Like, is California a real place? While the rest of the country's in a fucking heat wave.
Right. No, it is crazy. Yeah, the last time I was in this area was actually, I think, 2019, and I went from El Paso to flew into San Francisco and visited our friends in Monterey, and it was sort of like not being in the real world, because
I've never been to that part of California. I would like to go.
It's nice. It's gorgeous. Like, even just like, if you do go to San Francisco and like drive the Pacific Coast Highway, like down, like, whatever,
that's on the bucket list for sure.
Yeah, like we drove from, because they picked me up from San Francisco and flew, and from San Francisco, and then from Monterey, like we drove up to San Francisco the one day, like to actually be in the city, and that drive was just like breathtaking, like truly crazy, where we just like pulled off a couple of times, and you can just walk up on cliffs and watch like whales breaching off the.
That's insane.
It's nuts. Like, yeah, again, it just feels fake. Like, it doesn't, even speaking about it now, I'm like, that doesn't seem real, but yeah. And Christian with the NorCal better than SoCal shout, like I tend to agree, and at the same time, like, San Diego fits into the same category.
I liked San Diego when I went.
Me too. Of like, it feels fake too, because weather doesn't impact it. Like, how is there a place where weather, like, so similar to NorCal, where it's like the whole country's in a heat wave, and to them, and it's in the 60s in San Francisco. Similarly, San Diego, it's like every single day it's 75 degrees, like the whole year. How's that happen? You can't have a place like that. It shouldn't be allowed. So,
well, Monterey have rolled the dice with some of their first changes, so
yeah,
I think it behooves us to respond, because this is getting kind of out of control.
Yeah, it's just like very stretched. I'd actually really like to see us bring Memo Diaz on.
Yeah, Quesada's not.
He's
dealing with.
He's getting
in any way that is acceptable.
He's getting cooked, and I think there is something to be said about what you said, where it's nothing against Wahab Akwe, but the way that Palermo Ortiz was covering the space for Quezada and the way that Wahab Akwe is able to cover the space for Quezada, two different things. Like,
oh yeah, and we were literally talking about that in the first half. Like
about who
Palermo's
gets
nipping in, and
exactly getting, like, him being pulled wide is not a problem because he's so good at it. Whereas
so long as the
Wahab,
ball's in front of him, yeah.
yeah. Whereas Wahab, like, if he's out in wide areas, that's a lot more uncomfortable. Not because he's bad, just because I'd much rather have him defending more centrally.
Yeah.
And now a corner kick for Monterey Bay. So yeah, I mean, this is just it's getting frayed at the edges, I guess would be the easiest way to talk about things. And again, sort of illustrative of the point that Locomotive, like, while a pretty good team, like, they are not particularly good at seeing out leads or like playing with the lead.
Well, and how much of that is on the manager? Because I think that's been Wilmer Cabrera's, like, it's been a theme with him, is like he doesn't change the game with his substitutions nearly enough, I think, for my liking at least. All right, we just won't see the corner taker, I guess.
Oh, now we got
bad day for guys with thighs tattoos, I'll tell you what.
The hoes are suffering.
In the trenches.
Yeah. So Beto Avila, it looks like, is hurt right now.
You know what Malongo's giving? He's giving Brian Mbumo. Like, why are you so large and powerful and fast?
Yeah.
Like, damn.
Yeah. No, and that's what I really... Honestly, he plays on the same side as Amando Moreno, but, like, if there were ever sort of a tipping point of the, given it's American sports, like, if there were ever the tipping point of, like, Monterey Bay looks like they might not make the playoffs, Locomotive might. I'm thinking, like, call it Monterey Bay and see what Malongo's asking price is, because, like, I think we need a player like that a little bit, like someone a little more direct, like,
yeah. But also, like, powerful.
Right.
We've had plenty of direct players in the past, but not that have been able to pair it with that kind of power, I don't think.
Yeah. So, Locomotive earn a throw deep in their territory. Monterey Bay on the ball again, and
man, we are hanging on.
Yeah. It is crazy that our starting 11 has essentially 60 minutes in them. Like I know I'm rounding up even a little bit, but it is sort of like, hey, we got 60 good minutes, and after that you're on your own. Like
yeah.
the man, 70 minutes gone, still the only substitute is an enforced substitution for an injury for Palermo Ortiz, which is exactly the situation that we found ourselves in when was the last, or was that Oakland where he
Oakland, yeah, it might have been.
came off at a halftime as well? So yeah. Yep. And now Frank Lopez came on for another injury for Beto Avila. So 2 subs, both enforced by injuries. And that's just I don't know. Is it just like, at what point do you just, like, it's a long ball over the top from Malongo. He knocks it down for Elijah Paul and straight into the arms of Seb Moramora. But at what point do you sort of point to, and maybe this is a question that easy for me to say, but maybe this is a question that we ask of Wilmer next time out, is like, the sense that we get is that you're really, yeah. And Gabriel, yeah, I did misspeak. Frank Lopez did come in, but he that was another enforced change for Beto Avila, who was hurt as well. So yeah, I did misspeak that there had been one other substitution, but I think we've seen Quezada, like, he's not really addressing like the problem area of, like, from here, I'm seeing that Malongo is cooking Quezada, and not
Like,
necessarily because
repeatedly.
Quezada is playing poorly, but again, because of this like dynamic that existed between Ortiz and Quezada that now doesn't exist because Ortiz is not in the game anymore as they punch away the corner. There's a general lack of responsiveness, I guess you would say. And the maybe larger question for Wilmer is that, like, beyond just a general willingness to react, like, in these sort of situations, it does feel like there is, and maybe this is unfair, and this is certainly like outside looking in perspective, but to me, it just feels like he doesn't trust anybody on the bench.
I mean, and in his defense, I think I think it's clear that our best 11 is what started on the pitch today, minus Jamali Wade, obviously.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I do understand that, but at the same time, as a coach, you have to be able to get something out of those role players,
right? And
adjust. I mean, that is part of your remit. And if the players that are on the bench aren't good enough, who signed them?
Right. Well, in some cases, the answer is Brian Clairhout, unfortunately. But
true.
But for a vast majority of these players, the answer is Wilmer.
Right.
And I would say in general, this sort of brings it full circle to the signings conversation of, like, if you trust 11 guys or maybe 13, right? Like, to be at the level that you need generally to, I thought that was a foul for sure. And it's going to be a corner, I think, to Monterey Bay here off of Wahab Akwe, and certainly Monterey Bay in the ascendancy here. I think, sure. And now Daroma getting involved. Daroma's got to
relax,
avoid his, just calma. But I think there is something to be said that, like, the lack of movement, we can say, like, if you only trust 13 or 14 guys at a push out of your whole roster, then, like, we should be seeing, like, guys getting released, guys getting signed. Like, there should be movement.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But at the same time, he'll, like, rotate the entire 11 for other games. So it's like,
yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, I don't know.
I don't understand. Like,
it's a bit strange.
Yeah, this is a really crucial moment here.
Yeah, corner near post. Wahab Akwe deals with the initial ball. Monterey Bay do hold on to possession, play it all the way back to the keeper, and they're mostly staying up for this. They're playing to win. Like, I don't even, like, they're playing for the equalizer. But this was a bit.
What? Where was the foul? I guess I missed
Yeah,
that.
I don't know. I think Gutierrez and who is that out there? I think it's Gutierrez, but
I
to me
swear
this is
referees just want to fucking use that spray.
yeah, to me this is sort of nothing. Like
Oh,
there's
this
a
is yeah.
slight barge in the back. I'd say at worst it's naive
Mhm.
from Quezada.
But again, like take him out of this situation. He shouldn't
Uh-huh.
even be on the pitch.
Yeah. Well, and for Memo Diaz to be the guy on the bench, like again, this trust question. How is Memo Diaz not like a guy in that
Yeah.
circle, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not saying he's an everyday starter all the time, whatever, but it is odd that he's not. Dangerous ball. Hooked over the bar.
Oh my god. This too much.
Yeah, the equalizer is just a matter of time. Like in this current game state, we will concede a second, and the only hope is that time will run out before that happens. Like that's the
Mhm.
that is the only thing we got going. And I would say, like I said to someone at work this week, hope is not a strategy. So why did they do this to me?
Yeah, they are fully going for it. Like fair play to them because why not? I mean, you're at home. The away team is allowing you back into the game.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a good record against us for the most part.
See, that was actually really good from Quezada.
Yeah, that was clever. That was.
Because that's not a foul. But
this is a this is tough to watch though, I won't lie. Like
no, this is rough. Like
Malongo has been tearing him up.
Yeah. And it really was like the inflection point here with this Malongo battle, like was Palermo Ortiz coming off the field. Like and again, like there's the depth conversation. Like once again, you know what I mean? Like there's just a lot of layers here where it's like it's all fine and dandy, except that if these are the players for the rest of the season, then DeRoma doing a good job helping out in that case. And maybe there has been some instruction from the sideline of like, please help this man. Somebody help this man. Oh, a fumble from Mora. Oh, okay.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry.
Why did he fall over like that?
That was like a FIFA collision detector, like
yeah. Like the physics just like went crazy.
Like the engine like had a glitch or whatever.
I remember one time in
FIFA carried him.
I remember one time in FIFA, one of my players like got stuck under the goalkeeper for like 10 minutes. Like he couldn't get out from under a. Like what is that?
That is a FIFA. Like that is straight up player models in EAFC. Like I don't know what's going on.
Oh my goodness. Can we hang on 10 minutes and probably an insane amount of stoppage time if the first half was anything?
Yeah, I was going to say 5 minutes in the first half. At this rate, we're going to be playing we'll be playing an extra 15.
Right.
I
feel like we haven't been on the ball in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think we've reliably held onto the ball basically at all. I'm actually a little bit curious possession wise. I'm sure it's been fully lopsided in the second half. Oh, that can't be right. It says we've had 53% of the ball in the second half, but the shots are gonna trouble you. We have had one shot in the second half, which we're now 35 minutes into. Oh, and now Fonga bursting into space. gets the ball back, goes past Akwe, went down in the box, and now
Well,
is
that's an
getting
absolutely shameless dive.
yeah.
Get out of here.
That was a shocking dive. I think Monterey Bay's coach is trying to say that that's the same as the penalty that we got, and I'm here to tell you it's not.
No.
That is a definition of shoulder to shoulder. And yeah, he should actually get booked for that. That's a crazy dive. But anyways, so we've had a single shot in the second half. Monterey Bay have had 7, 4 of which are on target.
Thankfully, the shots that they've had have been, for the most part, straightforward for Moramora, but still, that amount of pressure is not.
Yeah.
You cannot sustain that.
No. And 2 shots on target for Locomotive across 82 minutes is, again, just not good. Yeah. And it is, I think the reason that it's particularly not good, because there's plenty of times where you're like, hey, 2 shots on target, 2 goals, away performance, fucking put that in the bank and take it home, right? The reason that it's more concerning is because it's now become a pattern. Like, they're just not generating that many shots on target.
Well, you can't lose one player and then your entire team falls apart. Like, that just can't be the case at this level.
Yeah.
It can't
you're not allowed.
Especially when that player is, like, older. You know, he should probably be having his minutes managed anyway.
Right.
Like, that's just not.
Yeah, he's not
for me.
He's not. He's not 34 games this season. That's a nice little sequence now from Locomotive. Finally, for maybe the first time in a while. Nice ball slipped into Andy Cabrera. Can he put it away? Oh, it's blocked on the line.
Jesus.
Oh, that was the moment. And now Quezada's got to take a yellow card because he's getting cooked by Malongo once again.
Yep, put him down. Get the hard and then come off.
Yep, and then somebody get this man out of here.
Him getting that card is like the smartest thing he's done all night.
Yeah. No, Andy Cabrera not shooting. He should have shot for
Frank Lopez. Justice for Frank Lopez. That is a nice pick out.
No, that was a really great pass.
He tried to sit too many people down.
Yeah. Yeah, and
now get Quezada off, bro, because the next thing is going to be a red card.
So it looked like Diaz and Romero were being readied, is what it looked like from a brief sideline shot. So yeah, just let's make it happen. Is he waiting for them to take this free kick?
Oh God, we irritating. .png.
Because I get the like, oh, we got to defend a set piece, and at the same time, like, one, this isn't a corner or like a traditional sort of like delivery area. This is a quite weird spot to hit the ball into the box, right? Like, it's not. You can like afford to play a high line, all this sort of stuff. Like, there's stuff you can do, and. As it looks like Fair is coming in for Soyberg. Moby Fair, I think is his. Anyways, I think he was set for his like 100th appearance for Monterey Bay. So I think he's actually at a century now for them. So congrats.
Wow.
But that being said, like this isn't enough of a dangerous set piece to justify keeping guys that you want to take off the field off, right? Like, because the odds that this develops into a longer sequence of play in which something shitty happens is a lot.
High.
Okay, so we are making changes. I definitely don't know what. I guess we're doing a shape change because Amando Moreno is coming off for Brian Romero. Unless we're about to see,
I'm gonna crash the fuck out.
Okay, nope. Never mind. I lied. DeRoma is off. Ricky Ruiz is on. What the fuck is happening?
What are we doing? Like, what?
Quezada's still on the field. Oh, wait. No, Quezada's also going. Okay. Memo was being read. I wasn't wrong. Memo is also.
God.
Okay.
Blessed. Bless
Holy
up.
shit, the triple change in the 85th minute. It is a tale as old as time for Wilmer Cabrera. It's typically his first 3 substitutes of the match, but in this case, a well-deserved and well-needed change. I'm glad he made it before the set piece was taken. And but it also suggests that we've moved to a back 3. So a bit of a adjustment here. And a free kick for Monterey Bay, trying to curl this in, but straight at Moramora, and a let off there. But some changed personnel and a change of shape. And we'll see if we can see this one out. 5 minutes or a little less. I guess we're approaching the 87 full minutes played, as this one's behind for a goal kick, and well done by Tony Alfaro there. Wow. They really have a way of just making this more of a thing than it needs to be. But
No, truly.
more and more switching sides on the goal kick. He's going to get booked for that. Saw that coming from a mile away. It's like, do you think you're getting away with this? Like I get the time wasting. I'm fine with it, right? Like I don't even mind him taking a yellow, because the day, and you know what? I'm not going to say anything. Never mind. I'm not going to say it, because it'll happen. I'll tell you at the end of the game, as long as
Yeah,
it works
I was
in our
gonna
favor.
say, don't forget it. I want to hear it at full time, but
Yeah. But yeah, Locomotive 2-1 up. We've played 88 minutes now, and Monterey Bay pressing for an equalizer. Locomotive trying to hold on to the 3 points on the road, and free kick actually goes Locomotive's way, which I thought the easier thing there was no call.
I was gonna say it just looked like 2 people fell. Like I
Yeah.
didn't really see.
Yeah. That is, I don't
anything.
know. And obviously, it's easier for me to say from here than it is, on the field in the moment. But I would say that there are a lot of times I feel that referees sort of get themselves into unnecessary situations. It's like the
That's
easier
fair.
thing would have been to just not get involved. But what do I know? Locomotive trying to play through the press. Decent back heel here, actually. And now sprayed into space for Gabby Torres. He's touched it out of his feet. He's got the better of his man. Laid it across. Chance now for Frank Lopez.
He's so unlucky. No way! No way!
Yeah,
This has been
This
his
man-
most impactful sub ever
This man
for
must have-
Locomotive.
Genuinely, he's not even touched the ball this much in another game. There's been games he started where he hasn't touched the ball this much. I think he may have done something. I think he may have done something in Miami just to get those 7 goals. Like he may have made some kind of deal with Santa Muerte or something.
I was gonna
like
say
that.
Santeria. Like what are we doing?
I don't know. Corner kick for Locomotive.
Oh my god, that's so unlucky. He did so well.
Yeah. And now Brian Romero trying to get involved with
Christian's not having it.
You bum. And of course, 7 minutes of fucking stoppage time. There's been, this guy is in what was the one fever dream year where the Premier League decided to do just ridiculous amounts of stoppage time every single game? Was that 22?
Yeah, I was gonna say that was 2 seasons ago.
Because it was the World Cup, right? Like it coincided with the World Cup where they were doing 10 minutes minimum.
Yeah, they were like, we're gonna address time wasting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was Newcastle United started playing suffer ball, and now everybody's getting serious about time wasting. That like athletic article about ball in play came out, and
Mm-hmm.
they were like, Newcastle United can't keep getting away with this, like 48 minutes or whatever. So, but yeah, 7 minutes of added time feels like a lot. Malongo still doing his thing. Luckily, Locomotive see this one out for a goal kick, but yeah, in terms of impact, like Malongo has been Monterey Bay's best player by a distance.
Yeah, absolutely.
And shame on us for them just being allowed to spam it out to him, right? Like, like how are we not adjusting at all? But
I mean, it's almost the same problem as against Orange County, but on the other
yeah,
side.
just reverse it or whatever, mirror my image. Monterey Bay. Oh, and they've left Fonguk in space.
What
Cut
Hawk,
out.
man? What a warrior.
Yep. Okay, Frank Lopez is definitely being fouled
That's
there.
gotta be a yellow card, referee. Be so for real.
Not even a
Whistle.
not even a foul. That's crazy. He had him wrapped up like a form tackling drill. We're out in 2-a-days out here. That's wild. But foul does go Andy Cabrera's way. I do think we haven't had a chance to record an episode, like just with various stuff going on, all kinds of whatever. But can we address the club while we're live, versus maybe on recording where it will maybe live in more posterity? Can we talk about the club? Andy Cabrera winning May USL Championship Player of the Month for May, and deservedly so. And the club tweeting, making a name for himself, and then calling him Wilmer, quote, Andy Cabrera.
Like, y'all yelled at us at the beginning of the year to be like, he likes to be called
It's Andy. It's Andy.
And now you're like, well, I'm trying to be clever, so.
Making a name for himself is crazy to say about, like,
that's like so shady, bro.
Yeah, wow. Like, it's the coach's son. We get it. And he did win, like, justifiably. I don't know. It just felt weird. It felt, I know they probably didn't mean it this way, but it felt like shade.
It's one of those things where it's like, damn, this made it through like multiple people. Like, multiple people were like, yeah, that eats.
Someone's like, send that. I'm eating with this. This is my meal ticket. That's funny. No, yeah, making a name for himself is so crazy. When the guy is like literally going by Andy just to make sure that people don't immediately associate the fact that his dad is a coach.
He should put Andy on the shirt, no?
I thought I kind of thought that would be you kind of cook with that, but then again, I was giving Trent a bunch of shit for Trent Alexander-Arnold goes to Real Madrid and suddenly he's too good for a giant name across his back. He's got to go Trent.
Trying to build his brand.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because the 66 thing I thought he had a shot at actually sticking with 66 forever, just because like literally nobody in the world wears it.
What does he wear at Madrid?
12.
Oh, that's whack.
Which I think he's gonna try to do a like 6 + 6 = 12. Like I think that's his like galaxy brain.
Well, then again, in La Liga, I think you have to have certain numbers.
Oh, like you can't go above.
Like I think you have to do one. Like
you have to register like 1 through 11, and
so,
then 12 to like whatever 25 or whatever.
I believe that's the case. Yeah,
that actually does make sense, and I personally prefer that.
Me too.
Oh shit! Break here from Monterey Bay. Actually, a good intervention from Romero, and that was a shocking challenge.
That's a great wow, and he knew that was coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really no, I think Romero is genuinely a psychopath. Like
he wears 7 and he's a center back. Of course, he's a psychopath.
Like I think he has genuine issues he needs to address. And that being said, like it allowed him to intervene in that vital moment because he knew he was getting crunched. Yeah, it's a bad lunge from
Oh my god, that's bad.
I think it was Gutierrez for Monterey Bay. He just knew he overcooked it like just a touch and went in desperate. But 6 minutes gone of the 7. Mika, you and I are both still here, alive, living,
dying.
living or dying. It's depending on how you. What is living but dying?
Oh dear, oh dear.
Alfaro goes long.
If we go a second past 7, I'm screaming.
Oh yeah, no,
Like,
that's what
rip
I'm
headphone
lodging.
users.
I'm lodging a formal protest with the league. I don't even have a recourse to do that, but I'm doing it. The Tampa headquarters is getting an email.
Strongly worded.
Yeah.
Just call me the Democratic Party.
I hope this letter finds you well. That being said,
To whom it will concern.
yeah.
Okay, 97 minutes. Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Monterey has a whole ass marching band. That's crazy.
No, it is pretty wild.
Then again, this is a college, right? Like, this is a college.
It is. Yeah, UC
or
something
CSU,
or other.
Monterey Bay
Or yeah,
something.
CSU. Yeah.
Can we just like blow for full time or not?
Yeah, we're at 97:40. I'm not positive that the referee has actually adjusted his watch appropriately. But he also seems, I mean, I guess given the fact that he added 7 minutes on in the first place for literally nothing. What, a penalty call and one other goal? Aside from that, there was like the stoppage for Palermo's injury. That was all in the first half.
That was all in the first half, yeah.
Nothing else significant has happened. We've played an additional minute and a half nearly. Like, what is happening? It's 98-30. Ball over the top now. Monterey Bay. Good challenge from Seb Moramora.
Oh my god, he's got to get that so right or we're cooked.
Oh, man. And Moramora down injured. And that is full time. So Seb Moramora takes a significant injury in stoppage time, or at least a significant blow in stoppage time. I don't know that it's a significant injury, but
bro, we suffered. Oh my goodness.
That was terrorism.
That's not our first win at Cardinale. We've won there before. Surely.
Yeah, I thought we won one
like 3-2.
And then I know that we've we did like legit terrorism there in 2023 when we created something like 4 XG and it finished 0-0.
Oh, wow, we never have one there. Okay.
Huh.
Got it. Well, yeah. Okay, we have now. So
yes.
There.
So there. So I'm right. The thing that I was gonna say and held back from saying is it's fine for the keeper to take a yellow because for time wasting, because I dare you to send me off for time wasting.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
they
like,
never
that'd be the most like main character shit of all time.
They never do it. They never do it. That yellow card is for show. That yellow card is that yellow card. It's like the piano in the front room that the designer, the interior decorator put that piano there. Nobody plays it.
No, yeah,
it's strictly to keep up appearances.
Boy, that
was horrible.
That was a lot. That was a lot, and like we some people may have died for this, like Moramora, Romero,
Hmm.
Palermo Ortiz, Shirley, like
Hmm.
Jesus.
Yeah, that was a like Pyrrhic victory would be the easy way to describe it, right? Like that is we are
Right
coming
on.
out of that with some damage. Um and it felt that way to watch it. Like it felt like we were all suffering together.
Yeah, no, we're all trauma bonded now.
um so Locomotive come away with a 2-1 win in Monterey Bay. A good result, I guess, given the circumstance. And we'll have to wait and see. And hopefully we have some updates soon about the status of each of the players involved in those incidents, like towards the end of the game. Um, but 2-1 Wahab Akwe with his, I believe, second goal of the league campaign. Oh no. Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, his second goal of the season. And then Andy Cabrera, his ninth of this USL Championship season. And via the first penalty kick that was awarded to Locomotive this whole year. So um
Wild.
yeah, wild stuff. A lot of firsts out at Cardinale. Um and it will all lead to a showdown with San Antonio next Friday night out in El Paso, 7 p.m. Mountain Time kickoff.
Bruh.
So it doesn't get any better. Yeah. I mean, you mentioned the upcoming schedule: San Antonio, Sac Republic, Vegas, Miami away. And I say Miami away specifically because that pitch is huge, and they have swapped out all of their ineffective Italians for effective Argentinians. And I don't love that. And then back to Monterey Bay. So it'll be for the next month essentially, it'll be a pretty tough run, but back to winning ways for Locomotive, which I think, like, all of the context and all of the worry and all of the suffering and all of that being said, the 3 points was ultimately the most important thing out of tonight to make sure that this little blip since that draw against Roots didn't turn into a more significant slide like it has in past seasons.
For sure. And I think you pointed it out on our main feed that this time of year can be fraught with those kind of slides for Locomotive historically. So yeah, the 3 points, that's what matters. I think there's a lot for them to reflect on, but
Mm-hmm.
3 points definitely is the key, and at least we were good enough to do that.
Yep. Well, like we said, it'll be home against San Antonio next weekend, and that'll be a definitely a grind as well. If this was a battle in Monterey, then that match against San Antonio, I'm sure they'll be fired up for that. It does seem like because of the sending off in the San Antonio match tonight that they will be short. They will be short. Luis Paredes, who plays out on the right wing for them. So due to that second yellow that he received in the match against New Mexico. So they do at least have that going for them. But San Antonio, it was a 2-2 game, like going into stoppage time against New Mexico. And obviously they threw it away at the end, but never an easy opponent and never an easy game, and always seems to have a bit of spice to it. This matchup with Spurs FC of the United States.
Spurs FC. No, yeah, you're right. It's going to be a big one. Another kind of near top of the table clash, I suppose, in the West.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think going into this, having one is big for the confidence. But at the same time, like San Antonio, they just suffered a really big blow tonight, so they'll be fired up as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. I think obviously it's always nice on these watch-alongs to come away with the 3 points. And yep, that's right. Joe's got the right idea. It's Whataburger time for those able. So get after it. And yeah, hopefully we'll be back with a podcast soon, and keep an eye out for that. And until next time, stay loco.